Caitlin Clark's incredible rookie season just got dragged into an ugly controversy. The basketball sensation Caitlin Clark, who's been shattering records and bringing millions of new fans to the WNBA, is now at the center of a heated racism debate. But here's what they don't want you to know. Connecticut Sun's Alyssa Thomas dropped a bombshell after eliminating Clark's Indiana Fever from the playoffs, accusing Fever fans of racism. But wait, where's the proof? Let's see what Alyssa Thomas actually said.
Honestly, it's been a lot of nonsense. I think in my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but nah, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world, and
it's shocking to see Thomas throw these accusations without any real evidence. She claims she's never experienced such comments in her 11-year career, but conveniently forgets to provide any specifics. Coincidence? Well, on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Smith revealed the fact. Let's see what Smith said.
Alyssa Thomas goes, "You are a wonderful, wonderful woman. You are fabulous, and thank you for bringing up the subject. Because if you are Caitlin Clark fans, there's no room for any kind of racism. Now, I'm not calling everybody racist. I'm not calling most folks. But the few who are, you know who the hell you are. Calm the hell down. Support Caitlin."
Absolutely, Smith. As Caitlin Clark fans, we should embrace positivity and stand against racism. Let's support her without negativity. Let's see what Brittany Gear said.
How do you feel about what has happened over the past year with the W since you first came in to where it is now? And obviously the game has grown and there's new fans, but how do you appreciate the new fans without all the noise that's come with them?
I appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against. Because those might be opponents, but those are friends too. They don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans. I think it's okay to do that. But I do appreciate the new fans that respect the game, that are here to grow our league. Bringing people that may have not ever watched the W, to a WNBA game, so we can grow more fans. I do appreciate them. I appreciate the players that came in, and
the WNBA's response? They're monitoring the situation and might even get law enforcement involved. Talk about an overreaction. After the last game, Clark talked about receiving an email filled with racist slurs and violent threats. During the game, she confronted a fan in the second row, who was briefly removed by security before coming back. This isn't the first time Clark has spoken about fan abuse. Earlier this season, she shared her frustration about how her popularity was used to excuse hateful behavior. Let's check out Clark's response.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are trolls, and it's a real...
Now that's how you handle controversy with class. But let's look at the real numbers that matter. Clark helped break attendance records. TV ratings was through the roof. She brought more fans than ever to women's basketball. Well, we all know why some people might be jealous. Just look at Clark's incredible performance.
The Big Ten all-time assist record is hers and hers alone. Caitlin Clark behind the back, on the spin, to the hole, and one.
They're right here, just staying on balance, taking the contact, getting the and one.
Smith warned to Clark haters. Let's see what Smith said.
What is your problem? She is a phenomenal, phenomenal talent and an even better person. I happen to have met and did an event with Caitlin Clark. I think she's wonderful. You don't have to act that way, particularly when you're a fan base that represents her. And if you are from the city of Indianapolis, if you are in Indiana, I will remind y'all years ago, Allen Iverson complained about the same thing. What he heard from those fans. She does play for the Indiana Fever. So you need to safeguard yourself from having or developing that kind of reputation.
Smith is right. Caitlin Clark is an incredible talent and a great person, and fans should support her positively instead of acting negatively. It's sad to see certain players trying to tarnish the incredible impact Clark has had on the league. Instead of celebrating her success, they're playing the race card without any solid evidence. This seems like nothing more than an attempt to discredit Clark and her amazing fan base. If there really is inappropriate behavior, show us the proof. Until then, this looks like pure jealousy disguised as social justice. Let's focus on what really matters, the game we all love. Clark has been nothing but respectful, even when facing these baseless accusations. That's what a true champion looks like. Let's see what Jason Whitlock said.
Don't hold the Indiana Fever responsible for people whose tweets you don't even know who the author is. It could have been somebody from Connecticut pretending to be an Indiana Fever fan, or someone from Connecticut who doesn't like you because you're a whiny victim 24/7.
It's heartbreaking to see Clark and other athletes face this kind of hate. Trolls have no place in sports. Caitlin Clark stands up for what's right and calls for respect for all women in the league. She isn't afraid to speak out against those misusing her name for harmful reasons. Her strong voice reminds everyone that equality and decency should be the standard. Clark's leadership, both on and off the court, is truly inspiring. What do you think about this controversy? Are these accusations fair, or is this just another attempt to bring down a rising star?
How are you? How you doing? Good. Pleasure to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Haliburton might not have the same level of national fame as WNBA star Caitlin Clark, but they are still close friends. Haliburton welcomed Clark with open arms when the former Iowa star was drafted by the Indiana Fever in April, and since then, the two Indiana icons have grown quite close. Hope you all seeing what 22 doing at Gainbridge, Tyrese Haliburton wrote from courtside on August 17th. Caitlin Clark, aka number 22, had just made a beautiful pass to Kelsey Mitchell, covering almost 3/4 of the court. The Indiana Pacers star, who knows a thing or two about good passes, had stood up with his hands over his head in disbelief. He was a CC fan, and he kept in touch with his fellow student athletes who attended college in Iowa. Let's see what Haliburton said.
I mean, I went to Fever games before this last year. I went to a ton because I love hoop. So to see kind of the explosion of women's basketball and for a big piece of that being the Fever and that being right in my backyard, I think was really, really cool to see. And I went to as many games as I could. I grew pretty close with Connor McCaffrey being an intern with us last year. And then I've grown to be pretty close with Caitlin.
It's awesome to see Tyrese Haliburton supporting women's basketball and recognizing the Fever's impact.
Me, her, him, and my girlfriend Jade all have a group chat that we talk in pretty often about everything. So it's been cool to just grow a friendship with her. And I don't want to be like everybody just wants to like get more from her, take more from her, like get more answers to things, and I don't want to be that. I just we're friends, and
His friendship with Caitlin just shows how talented and influential she is in the sport. Caitlin boyfriend is so supportive came to see Clark with Tyrese Haliburton. The WNBA phenom has been turning heads all season long, and the Indiana Pacers player is rooting for the state's sister team. Present in August for the Fever completing their sweep of the Phoenix Mercury, Haliburton had been left impressed by Clark & Co., and even shared a hug greeting with her post the game. As his latest statement reveals, the two stars from Indy are text buddies too. Let's see what Alex Golden tweeted. Tyrese Haliburton said that he, Caitlin Clark, her boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, and his girlfriend Jade have a group chat that they talk in regularly. The Indiana Fever after the Olympic break was on a red-hot streak, and even Pacers coach Rick Carlisle was spotted outside Gainbridge at one Fever vs. Sky game. Just after Caitlin Clark had been drafted, she met Tyrese Haliburton for the first time and was happy to see him in the same city franchise. Clark said,
"City, part of this organization. How much are you looking forward to spending some time with the rival, well, the former rival, and Tyrese Haliburton, and of course, the Pacer players as well?"
Yeah, I watch the Pacers very closely. My boyfriend works for the Pacers, so I've become quite a fan. But I mean, Tyrese is incredible, and I just want to congratulate him. Obviously, being named to the USA national team today is pretty special. It's a really hard accomplishment, and obviously he played for a very terrible team in college, but it's nice to be in the same city now, and you know, I think the thing I love about him is the way he passes the ball. Like, I watch his game, and it's just incredible what he can do. So, but all of them across the board, I think Coach Carlisle has been tremendous for them, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. And you know, I hope they beat the Bucks.
Let's see Tyrese's reaction while watching Clark performance.
Defense. One of her prettiest of the year. The WNBA Friday Night Spotlight is presented by State Farm. Tyrese Haliburton, who led the NBA in assists. Of course, Caitlin Clark here tonight. When Clark had that length of the court pass.
Head coach Christy Side said it was important just to get her feet underneath her. But to no surprise, you guys.
Extracurricular here. Mitchell and Natasha Cloud. To the shot that she took from Cloud, which whether it's a flagrant or a technical.
Bucket.
Clark attacking, gets inside, working over Cloud, draws the
into the paint, staying poised, trying to figure out where the defense is at.
Here in the third quarter, Clark step back on a deep two. Oh, gets the shooter. Clark. Does Clark see the clock? Handoff Samuelson. Who buries it?
Tyrese is a true example of friendship. Let's see what Tyrese said.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for her to be here. I think it brings a lot of excitement to the city, and you know, a city with a lot of young talent already as it is, and adding her, you know, she's one of the faces of women's basketball, and for her to be here and under the same roof, you know, I think is really exciting for me, and I think a lot of people in our organization, and just look forward to, you know, watching her grow throughout the process, watching her get better. Looking forward to actually being able to cheer for her now.
Clark's boyfriend, Connor McCaffrey, is also a basketball player now in the role of an assistant coach for Butler. He was previously a basketball development coordinator for the Pacers, but Tyrese Haliburton had wished him well for the new opportunity. While Haliburton's girlfriend Jade Jones might be the odd one out as the non-basketball playing member of this group, the famous NBA wag has not been indifferent to the sport. While the current Pacers point guard shone on the court, Jones could be found courtside as a cheerleader for the team. The couple has been together since 2019, while their friends started dating in 2023. Tyrese Haliburton has shown plenty of support to Caitlin Clark in her rookie season, but the Fever guard is equally a big fan of him. It's a mutual admiration society. Meanwhile, the Tyrese had said, "I would love to be able to interact with her more. It's great that we have Connor McCaffrey, Clark's boyfriend, in our franchise so I can talk to Connor and see how she's feeling kind of through him a little bit." Of course, now McCaffrey will be in a different team away from the NBA, but in the NCAA. Nevertheless, while this friendship might be scattered across the city, Caitlin Clark and Haliburton still play at the same arena. While Caitlin Clark's season has now ended and Haliburton's will begin soon, each of these in a group of 4 will certainly be rooting for the rest.
Hey, history tonight, Caitlin Clark.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Hey, she needed 8 to break the record, scored the first 8 points, scored 49 on the night.
That's a heat check right there.
49? Yeah. Oh, my God.
Hey, congratulations, Caitlin Clark. You are a monster, girl.
Yes,
you are incredible. I still hadn't got a chance to see her play in person. I want to do that.
The Caitlin Clark effect has come to an end, but not before setting another record. For her final game of the season in the playoffs, the viewership averaged 2.5 million and peaked at 3.4 million viewers. She also won the AP WNBA Rookie of the Year award unanimously. Off the court, she secured endorsement deals with Nike and Wilson. The latter deal made her the only player other than Michael Jordan to receive signature treatment. MJ is known for setting the blueprint for the athletes, and Fever president spoke about how Clark took it forward. Let's see what Allison Barb said about Clark.
So Atlanta would normally have 3,000, 4,000 people. Now they have 17,000 people, and they sold 1,000 standing room only tickets. So when we walked into the arena, people were on that third balcony looking down at the tops of our players' heads to watch. It's really hard to take in. After a few away games and all of the sellouts, Caitlin asked the WNBA if they would pay spot bonuses to the away team players. She said, wow, we're making all this new revenue, and I would like the away team to benefit from that. Could they get a spot bonus? So that's the heart of Caitlin Clark. I mean, that's a classy, amazing person.
In one of her interview, Allison said, "So the people at Nike told me that the thing that Caitlin has done is also similar to what Tiger did in that they brought new fans to the sport. So Michael Jordan energized and became a role model for all the kids. Caitlin's got that she's brought new fans to it. But she's even more than that in that she's 22, so she came right out of college and hit, very successful. Caitlin Clark is truly a game changer. She's inspiring a whole new generation of fans." To establish how successful the former Hawkeye is, we will just look at the attendance record. Last year, the Fever was the second worst franchise in the league, with an average of 4,067 fans. This season, the team set the top 2 records for fan attendance, the WNBA record with a total home attendance of 340,715. Plus, the 20,711 fans for the Fever and the Washington Mystics in Washington, D.C. set a single-season attendance record. Let's see what Robert Little BSO tweeted. Caitlin Clark asked the WNBA could her opponents get a bonus or extra money because the away team was making extra money from her selling out their arenas. WNBA said no, and CC never publicly spoke on trying to help. Let's see what Nancy Lieberman said before about Clark.
All right, you've done a couple of how many games have you done, Caitlin Clark?
A couple. I went to see her in college. We got to be friends. She won my award, and I promised I'd go see her play, and I did her last game in Iowa. I recently did the game in Dallas, the WNBA game. She's just exceptional.
In recent interview, Nancy talked about the impact of Clark on WNBA.
Which is okay, but damn, where's Caitlin Clark's teammates? I'd be pissed as shit at my teammates if nobody came to my defense. Gretzky had an enforcer. Michael Jordan had Oakley. I mean, that's honestly, it's just bullshit. This has to be better. Indiana has to be better. Somebody has to come to this kid's. I don't want to say.
Totally agree. Caitlin needs her teammates to back her up just like they had her support. Absolutely. Caitlin Clark was the only reason that bring more audience to watch WNBA as she created opportunities for everyone in the league. Caitlin Clark is amazing. It will be so cool to see her shine in next season and have legends like Nancy Lieberman support her. Let's see what K-Max said about Clark.
The WNBA is messing up the bag. They're dropping the ball with Caitlin Clark.
Talk to me.
They said, we already know that they're going to come out and those vets going to beat the brakes off of Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And people are not going to be, all of a sudden the interest level is going to fall, right? They said it's better to let Caitlin Clark come out this season and be on fire.
Yeah.
Get every.
K-Mac is spot on. The WNBA needs to recognize Caitlin Clark's potential and not drop the ball on her, as she's a major draw for fans and can really elevate the league's excitement in next season.
It happened in the game opener. We need to tighten up on that. Now,
well,
what are you saying? What are you saying?
Yeah, well, a lot of people said that was part of the Jordan rules. You can't.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
because she got two quick fouls. They called 2 quick fouls on her.
That was the first thing that came to mind. I said, "Did we make Jordan?"
Let's see what Clark responds on this comparison with Jordan.
Never thought I'd ask this question in my journalism career. Caitlin, you went from the Jordan shrug, and I looked at, there's a couple photos and videos of you after hitting threes. You started sticking your tongue out. Like, have you gone from the Jordan shrug to, like, the Jordan tongue out after a big shot?
Honestly, sometimes I don't even know. You just get so excited once you hit a shot. I think the Jordan shrug is still the go-to, though.
Let's see the amazing Michael Jordan in court from past days.
First round of Stansbury. Now, Michael Jordan told me he had something special. He may be trying to take off from the free throw line a la Julius Erving. Let's see what happens. He kind of measured it from there. He's going back. That very may well be it. The people are excited. They like this.
I can hear his engines revving now.
Air Jordan ready to take off.
In Chicago.
That's got to be a 55. He took off just...
This is not the first time Michael Jordan got compared with other athletes. Let's see what Jordan said about comparing him with other athletes.
Is he playing? I didn't know he was playing. No, I just think that, we play in different eras. He's an unbelievable player. He's one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. I know it's a natural tendency to compare eras to eras, and it's going to continue to happen. I'm a fan of his. I love watching him play. But it's, as you can see, our league is starting to expand on very talented players. And, I think he's made his mark. He will continue to do so over a period of time. But when you start the comparisons, I think it is what it is.
Similar to K-Mac's thoughts, even Nancy Lieberman drew parallels between Michael Jordan and Clark. It's not a Caitlin thing. It's a people thing. I mean, people were so jealous of Michael Jordan back in 1984. UNC Chicago Stadium was half empty prior to him arriving. The stadiums were filling up then. TV wanted him and the Bulls on every game. Not to forget, the Jordan brand has hit $7 billion in revenue this year, despite the drop in sales for Nike. Earlier this month, Hall of Famer spoke to Stephen A. Smith and was on board the Clark hype train. With all the parallels being drawn, let's look back at the time when Michael Jordan broke the viewership record. Let's see what Magic Johnson said about Clark.
Players, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, who many are saying are the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson of the WNBA. Do you like that when you hear that?
I like it, and they are.
Were you treated as roughly as they have been treated when you...
Even legend like Magic appreciate Clark. That's impressive. Now let's see how well Clark played.
The ball kept alive. Another feed inside, and Stokey finishes! Clark's 8th assist, and the Big Ten all-time assist record is hers and hers alone. Caitlin Clark behind the back on the spin to the hole and one.
They're right here, just staying on balance, taking the contact, getting the and one.
Dick Ebersol, the former chairman of NBC Sports in 1999, said, "It's unique to have been in a partnership with the NBA for 8 years, and to have had this fairy dust sprinkled on us. Now we have to reintroduce this generation of stars. But will we get Babe Ruth tomorrow? No. He had no problem highlighting Michael Jordan over any other sport or athlete. Well, because during the 1998 season, the 8 Bulls telecasts averaged a 6.5 rating, which was 71% better than the 17 other broadcasts. Not to mention, the Bulls' 1998 playoff games minus the finals averaged a 10.9 rating, 102% above telecasts without Chicago. Game 6 and Jordan's last game at the time produced a whopping 22.3 rating. I'd be crazy to say that there weren't a large number of people who watched the finals just because of Michael. Ebersol even compared MJ to Muhammad Ali. Did Wide World of Sports show Muhammad Ali too much in the 1960s? It's what the public wants. So yes, there are athletes once in a generation to come and change the landscape of sports. Surely the Caitlin Clark effect will continue to have a similar impact after her tremendous first season in the WNBA.
WNBA players facing racist abuse from fans during a playoff game. I guess this is why they call them fanatics?
WNBA rookie phenom Caitlin Clark has finished her first pro season and has already left an undeniable impact on the league. In just 1 year, Clark has been credited with drawing countless new followers to help the league break attendance and TV ratings records. However, Clark does not approve of all the league's new followers. During the Indiana Fever's exit interviews Friday after the team's season-ending playoff loss to the Connecticut Sun, Clark was asked about a statement released by the WNBA that condemned racist, derogatory, or threatening comments directed at players, coaches, and other figures in the league. The statement came after Sun Forward Alyssa Thomas accused Fever fans of racism. Clark denounced anyone following the WNBA who makes prejudicial comments toward players. Let's see what Clark said.
Yeah, it's definitely upsetting. I don't think nobody in our league should be facing any sort of racism, hurtful, disrespectful, hateful comments and threats. Those aren't fans, those are...
It's heartbreaking to see Clark and other athletes face this kind of hate. Trolls have no place in sports. Connecticut Sun star Alyssa Thomas pointed directly at Indiana Fever fans after the team's win in its playoff matchup, while her teammate, Dejounte Carrington, revealed on Instagram an email she had received filled with racial slurs. Let's see what Thomas said.
And we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. And basketball is headed in a great direction, but no, we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us.
It's sad to see players like Thomas face this kind of hate. Race and racism have become frequent talking points relating to Clark's presence and the attention it has brought to women's basketball over the last few years. Clark has been on the receiving end of racially charged comments from fans and prognosticators since her ascent to stardom. ESPN's Pat McAfee referred to Clark as a white beep during an episode of his nationally televised show June 3rd. McAfee used the term during a discussion about how much popularity Clark was bringing to the league compared to other players. Let's see what McAfee said about Clark.
Football. But I would like the media people that continue to say, this rookie class, this rookie class, this rookie class. Nah, just call it for what it is. There's one white bitch.
McAfee, that's rude. You should learn some manners how to respect woman McAfee. Later regret and apologized. In May, The View host Sunny Hostin said during an episode of that show that Clark's popularity was due in part to white privilege. Meanwhile, several opposing players, including longtime college and pro rival Angel Reese, have claimed to be on the receiving end of racist attacks from WNBA fans. LSU star Angel Reese after being eliminated by Caitlin Clark and Iowa Saeed.
So I think it's really just the fans, her fans, the Iowa fans, now the Indiana fans that are like, they ride for her. And I respect that respectfully, but sometimes it's very disrespectful. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. But when it comes to death threats, like I'm talking about people have come down to my address, follow me home. Like it's come down to that. Multiple occasions, people have made AI pictures of me like naked. Literally.
Really?
They have sent it to my family members. My family members are like, uncles are sending it to me like,
no.
Are you naked on Instagram?
Reese has claimed she has been the victim of widespread online harassment, and it first ramped up when she and her college team, LSU, defeated Clark and Iowa in the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game. When LSU held a big lead in the final minutes of that game, Reese pointed to her ring finger in a now infamous photo that angered some of Clark's fans. On her podcast, Reese said that moment changed my life forever. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy reposted a video of the clip with the caption, "Classless piece of S porn on X." It's a post that had 79.5 million views on X at the time of publication. No matter what people say, let's have a look on Clark's impressive performance.
Davis, time winding down. Are they going to get the ball up in time? Clark for the win! Yeah! Oh! She does it time and time again, the 40-piece, and walks off with the W.
Listen, this is what Caitlin Clark does, folks. Logo threes. It's her signature. That is the most Caitlin Clark way to win a game.
When Reese and LSU lost in that year's Final Four to Clark and Iowa, Reese cried at the press podium about the threats she had received over the last year. Reese's teammate, Haley Van Lith, blamed racism for the treatment of Reese at that same press conference. "A lot of the people that are making those comments are being racist towards my teammates," Van Lith said. "Well, we all know they hate Clark, that's why they always blame her for this. But we all know that's just jealousy towards Clark." Sun player Dejounte Carrington, who poked Clark in the eye with her fingernail during Connecticut's Game 1 win over the Fever Sunday, previously criticized Clark for not doing more to call out racism among her own fans in an X post in June. Carrington tweeted, Dog, how one cannot be bothered by their name being used to justify racism, bigotry, misogyny, xenophobia, homophobia, and the intersectionalities of them all is nuts, Carrington wrote. We all see the essay. We all have a platform. We all have a voice, and they all hold weight. Silence is a luxury. Many fans got disappointed what Carrington did to Clark on court.